Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. I found the unmute button. Let me make sure I get Eileen unmuted here. All right,
Test, test, test. Can you hear me?
yes, we are both coming through loud and clear. Thank goodness.
Hi, guys. Can't see the chat tonight, but I'll go back and watch it later.
Well, welcome back to America, Eileen.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm still on British time because I went to England for 2 weeks to see family because we used to live there. My daughter was born there. My husband, who passed away, he's from there. And I got to stay with Auntie Jane in her big, old, haunted house. So I did lots of video and I learned something about orbs. I learned how to tell the difference between an orb and a dust particle.
Oh, great, because I have no idea. So
Yeah, it's trial and error,
yeah,
really.
yeah.
But
I
anyway,
I was just gonna say I always think whenever you see the lone one by itself, like that's got to be an orb, you know. But then sometimes you see dust and then what looks like orbs mixed in, and it's like, are they
well, should I
camouflaging
tell you guys
themselves?
now instead of waiting till the end?
Yeah.
Okay, dust particles. Okay, first of all, the orb is made of plasma. It's electromagnetic and it's like related to the Birkeland current. So I've been doing a bit little homework on this stuff. And it's kind of solid, but not solid at the same time. It's
Right.
not liquid, it's not gas, it's not solid. Supposedly, because it's all over the universe in all of the star nebulas and galaxies, it's the state everything is in before it becomes material. So, first it's invisible, and then as it starts to come into matter, it has to pass through this plasma phase. So the way you can tell the difference is, first of all, you have to keep your flash on permanently. And you can turn your video on and off depending on what room you're in, take a break. And when you put the flash on, you can look in front of the video and you can see dust particles.
Okay.
Okay? They're very small and they show up on the video as pure white and not circular. And they go left, right, up, down, and they shake when they move. They're like this, and they're unpredictable. They look kind of crazy the way they move. Okay, up, down, left, right, depending on if you're moving through a room, depending on if it's been vacuumed recently, depending on whether it has tile
Or
or
if a fan
carpeting,
is going,
a
probably a lot of
fan
things.
is going. Exactly. Now, the orbs are circular, and they're perfect circles. And they
Like
kind of show
bubbles.
like bubbles.
Right.
Yeah, and they zoom across the room and they zoom very far away and they zip across the ceiling and they come at you. They like fly in your face from across the room at high speed. That is not dust because at one point my sister-in-law Jane, this is her house. My husband was raised in it too, and his father and his grandfather. It's been in the family for over 100 years, and it was built in 1828. And it was used for the popular international TV show called Foyle's War, but most Americans don't watch that. Have you heard of it,
No,
Shane?
I haven't.
No, it's about a detective in Hastings, which is where this house is, which is very oldie worldy. It's a nice old town with a lot of buildings going from 900, 1100, all the way up to present. And he was a detective, a make-believe detective in World War II. So that series went for like 5 or 7 years, and it's really popular in Europe, Asia, and Russia.
Very nice. Should I pull up some pictures while you're talking about this?
Yeah, let's do the pictures first and then do the video.
Okay. Let me share my screen so we can make sure we're looking at the same thing at the same time.
Now I was sitting on the stairway and my sister-in-law was shooting me, and
Hmm.
I saw an orb go. What they do is they fly at your camera at high speed, stop in front of your camera, and change direction.
Oh, I
Dust
see.
doesn't do that. Dust always goes in the direction it's headed and is kind of shaky. And an orb flew out from behind me, went in front of the video camera my sister-in-law was holding, my phone, stopped in front of the light, and I could see through it, Shane. It was like an amoeba. It was like a single cell organism. It looked like it had liquid moving around inside of it.
Right.
That was fascinating to actually see an orb fly and stop in front of the light on the camera.
Okay, I want to point this out to you because the area you see this picture in, I know
Uh-huh.
it doesn't take up your whole screen, but it takes up the
Mhm.
whole screen of everyone watching on YouTube. So
Oh, okay.
just so to give you an idea of what part of the screen they're seeing, they're not seeing all the extra stuff all around
Gotcha.
inside
Because
here.
you're like a television studio now. I can see like three screens
Right,
or
yeah.
four behind each other, maybe
Exactly.
five.
And that's just this computer. I've got the other one going with the chat and
Oh
everything.
my
So
God,
so yeah, it's a lot to
Houston.
keep an eye on. Yeah, really. It's like a control room here.
Shane, control center to Shane.
Yeah. So this is the show you were talking about, this picture here?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
okay.
he's a very famous British actor, and I forgot his name. Darn it. He's really good. And that's her house where
Oh,
she was
okay.
born, and my husband was born, and his father was moved into it at the age of 4, but his father was born in 1912,
Right.
when the Titanic went down.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
this
very
house is like it's we're talking like it was made in what 1900 or something then probably. Or,
1828.
oh wow, that's really
Yeah.
old. That's almost 200 years old.
Yeah, it's
Holy
listed.
cow.
It's grade 2 listed, and it's famous because it goes around the corner of a street. The street goes around a corner, and so does the house. So all the rooms are circular, all the doors are circular, all the windows are circular.
That's
It's a very, very
fascinating.
famous house. Yeah,
Very beautiful. Is it in like a historic district or something?
it
Like is
is.
that?
It's in the old town of Hastings in England, and it's
Uh,
for sale. So. Hey guys, it's only about $1 million. If you can cough up $1 million,
how many
I'll put you in
pounds is that?
touch.
That's a
Well, it's 650 pounds.
wow.
So I think the pound and dollar are so close now. It's dropped, and that would be about $800,000. So it's a bargain.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay, so this is
There
a
it is.
current image of it. Oh, you can actually see it's the same thing, just much
Same
clearer.
thing. Yep, I took that one. It's kind of a slanted street.
That's beautiful.
It's on 4 stories, and there's about 2 rooms on each story. Can you believe it? Because do you see that okay, go down to the door. The part on the left is the original house because it's a townhouse. It's like a Regency townhouse or something like that when Queen Victoria
Right.
was around. And the windows on the right of the door belong to somebody else. That's somebody else's very old townhouse.
Oh wow. So you would normally go in here like and then go left for one and then right for the other. It's like
The one on the right has its own door further down.
oh to
So
the
you
right
go in
here.
there and you've got all the 2 rooms or 3 rooms going down to the left and up to the left. So it's 4 stories.
Is it still that way now? I mean, is there
Yeah.
multiple tenants in there?
No, it's still that way now. It's still one big house, but you could turn it. Somebody will probably buy it and turn it into apartments, I imagine, and
So
make
it's
more
got a
money on it.
basement then. I guess the basement is ready for
Yeah,
that.
it's a half basement, so half in the ground and half above ground, so you get natural daylight. They do
Oh,
that a lot in England.
yeah. Yeah, that's how the house I grew up was in. The front was underground, but the back had a walkout. And
Isn't that nice?
yeah,
Yeah, you get a bit of natural sunlight that way.
very beautiful.
Thank you. So that's just the front door, and the name of the house is Saint Just. Back in the day, they used to name their houses.
Very cool.
It got the very first phone in Hastings, and the telephone number was 150. And
Wow.
the father was from a wealthy family in Richmond, and he became a fishmonger. So he'd buy a lot of the catch from the local fishermen, who still have the oldest on beach fishing fleet in the world. So they drag their boats up on the shingle, which is rock beach, every night. And they push
Wow.
them out to sea every day because they don't have a natural harbor. He'd buy the fish and go sell it up in London, so he needed a telephone. And the local doctor would knock on the door and go, "May I use your phone, please? I need a phone."
Wow.
Don't know who he was calling because nobody had a phone back then.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Now, this is interesting because that's the original door knocker. And isn't it like a Christmas carol? something
Yeah.
like that. And the Jane and John's grandfather, Harold, died on that first floor in the second room behind the living room, which was a bedroom. Like, let's see, John would be 10, so maybe 1953.
Hmm.
Yeah, 1950. And they were all asleep, and the door knocker went boom, boom, boom. And they all woke up and ran downstairs, opened the door, nobody there. It was like 2, 3 in the morning. And his mother went, "Oh my God, Dad." And they ran into their dad's bedroom, and he was dead. So he actually knocked the knocker on the way out of the house. And he continued to knock the knocker for 3 nights.
Oh, wow. That's
On the
creepy.
third, isn't it? And on the third night, Jane and John's father, George, was standing at the door waiting for it. And it knocked, and he opened it, and nobody was there because he really wanted to see if it was somebody just,
Fooling
ding dong
around.
ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My voice is coming back through a little bit, and while you're talking about this, so it's extra creepy sounding. So, just so everybody knows, that is just my voice that's sort of echoing back through right when I first start to talk. It's not a demon voice in the background. It's just me, but it does add to the the
Knock,
creepiness of
knock, knock. I can go low. I used to sing alto. I've
it.
got my headphones on, so you shouldn't be getting that echo, right? Because I got my headphones on.
Yeah, it actually sounds like my voice was coming out of the computer. I'm not coming out of the computer.
Ah! Oh well, it'll be extra atmosphere. Everybody in our community knows who we are.
Right.
And
Yeah.
oh yeah, so this is right like the street. This is the street the house is on. It's up on the left-hand side, and
Oh.
that's the church from like 1100, and that's how wide the street is, and it's a two-way. Look at
Oh
that
wow.
car.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? And that's where the whole family was christened, including my daughter, going back 100 years, because the house, I think they got the house in like 1916.
That's wild that it's so narrow. I watched those movies like The Transporter in the UK, and you watch those cars zipping up and down those narrow streets, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, that's so crazy and narrow.
And is that a person actually walking in the street? Because there's a sidewalk up here. Do you see that little? Is that a person?
Yeah, right here. I hope
Looks like
that's.
somebody in a babushka.
I sure hope somebody was really there because I see somebody.
Crikey! There's a sidewalk right next to her. She doesn't have to go do the
Photobomb.
death walk.
Photobombing.
Photobombing my photo. And then right past it, you'll see there's an old cemetery right across from the house. So we get extra ghosts visiting probably.
So the house is down here where it looks like
Uh-huh.
someone's standing out front there. Let me.
Yep, yep. It looks like somebody walking right past the house. That's my
Okay.
sister-in-law, Jane.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
That's so
you'll see
neat.
more of her in the video.
Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing her in the video. Okay,
And
so
that's
this is
just
across the
the
street?
church. Yeah,
Okay.
that's just so you can see the top of the church across the street and a churchyard, a graveyard.
You got all
It's
the
really
elements for a really spooky area. You've got the church,
yes,
the old
yes,
church. It's got to be an old church. The new
yeah.
churches are
eleven
very
hundred.
spooky. Yeah.
How old is that? That's
Oh,
like
gosh.
super old.
That is really old. Let me look at these bricks here.
And how about the glass? I bet each piece of glass is individual, and you can't really see. Yeah, see, you can't see through it. It's all bubbly,
Yeah.
all bubbly.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is really old. Wow, look at that
because
little face.
yeah, an old gargoyle, or it kind of looks like a nice face, like a priest or something.
Yeah.
But this is famous for 1066 when the Normans came over from France and conquered England, and they did it at the Battle of Hastings in 1066.
Very nice.
Yeah,
And this is the graveyard, right? To the
that's the
left of
graveyard,
where we were just looking, right?
right across from the house. And I zeroed in on. I didn't show you tonight the tombstones. You can't read any of them. They're completely washed away by the rain. So
Oh, I thought we were just on the back side of them, but that's
no, that's the front side. If you can look at some of the writing.
wow. That is
Yeah.
really wore off there.
Yeah, rain. And I've been through a lot of English cemeteries, and you can read them up to 1600. And then prior to that, you can't really read them. They're just stone.
That is amazing how it just gets
Hmm.
weathered away.
There's one to the left that you can kind of see indentations, but I couldn't read. Keep going. Um, oh, probably that one. Yeah, really far. So you're not going to be able to see it from this angle.
Yeah, it looks like this has some texture on it. So.
Yeah, it does. And I still, when I took individual photos of the tombstones, I couldn't read them.
Ooh, look at that fence is even all, you can tell.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of the buildings that are still standing in the old town, because there's a hill on each side,
Mm-hmm.
which preserved the old town. And the new town is very big on the other side. And you think it's modern, but a lot of the buildings are Edwardian. They come from the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
But this town has a lot of 1500 and 1300 buildings still.
So it's been a while since anyone's been buried at this cemetery, probably. Huh?
It's so small, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
tiny.
Rachel says people are dying to get in.
There's no room, Rachel. No
Right.
room.
It does look pretty packed.
It's tiny, though.
Ooh,
There's
that's
the church from a
beautiful.
distance, and there's the house behind it. You can see kind of the cream color
Oh,
of the
right here?
townhouse. Yeah.
Ah,
And
okay.
you can see out to sea the English Channel from those windows, and that's the fourth floor. On the third stories, you just see buildings.
Oh,
Third,
wow.
second, first.
That is beautiful.
It is. And it's right between two hills, so it's like preserved,
Yeah. It's really jam packed. Wow.
jam packed. All different angles and sizes and
Yeah.
really interesting.
Well, you got to keep in mind, but this is like horse and carriage era when this was when they were built.
1828, yeah.
Yeah, that's like way back.
Those flat buildings. Oh, I
Ooh,
caught a rainbow. There's the right across from that bit of the old town is this old harbor arm
that's beautiful.
where they built like a little harbor, but it never worked, so they couldn't like park their boats there. They get the waves, so they have to pull their boats up on shore.
Looks like a stock image. It's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I should probably use that as my what do you call it?
Yeah, it
Um,
reminds me of your little avatar picture with the name on
Avatar.
it.
There
Yeah,
you go. I should use it as my avatar.
it's beautiful.
I was gonna call myself an emoji. Use it as my emoji.
Oh, I thought I was seeing something there. I guess that's like a seagull or something up there. Though.
Oh, I don't know.
You see
Probably
that and
because it's white.
that?
Yeah, come on, zoom in, zoom in.
What is it?
Let's see. Do 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 do. I was watching the sky and somebody was watching me. There, I bet they're seagulls.
Yeah, probably.
Just a bunch of
Very cool.
them. Now I'm taking a picture. There's these old fireplaces in every room that go straight up to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
If you zoom in on the fireplace, you're going to see one of those little photonic bursts that we caught in the Stanley Hotel. Yeah, there you go. So just zoom in on that white. That is not there. If you look at the actual fireplace, it's all black.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if it can go any clearer than that. Can you go
Nah, that's all the
in?
way.
Is that all the way?
Yeah. But yeah, you can clearly see there's something going on there. Down here,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Kind of like right below it.
Okay.
But
I
when
was
you look at the actual fireplace, it's all 100% black.
very nice. What are these old mugs on the top of
Oh,
that?
those are all pewter steins. Can you believe it? They drank their beer out of pewter. Thank God they're not lead. They
Yeah.
used to drink out of lead, didn't they, in the 1500s, and they poisoned themselves. So those are all old pewter steins, house keys, and a marble fireplace surround,
That's very nice.
mantelpiece.
All right, let's see here.
Oh, okay. So we kept getting this. I looked it up. It's the shape of a Birkeland current
Mm-hmm.
next to the refrigerator on the wall. So we pulled the refrigerator out to see where the heck is this current coming from. And if you go down and examine the floor and go to the right, sorry, it's dirty. It's under the fridge. Keep going. There you go. It's coming out of the woodwork. Do you see
Oh,
that
right
light?
here. Yeah.
That's solid wood with no wires on tile, but the wood goes all the way back into the hallway. It's a massive beam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously it went in 1828, but we don't know where the beam came from. Was it recycled from a church, a castle, an abbey, a shipwreck? So that beam is putting out its own electricity because you can see where the plug is next to it.
Yeah.
The wires are in the wall above the plug, not in the wooden door frame.
Right, I got
But
you.
the light is clearly coming out of the wooden door frame. And if you look to the left, there's a bit of a splodgy plasma squiggle there. Yeah. And it's shooting off with lights in all directions behind it, isn't it? There's like an X.
Yeah, like here and here.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
And then
here it's
this,
coming out this direction and this direction.
yeah, you
That's
can see
strange.
it's coming from the wood. And you're going to see some crazy Birkeland currents that we managed to get.
Okay,
Now,
so
if you
that's the
look up
same
on
thing.
that counter, look up on the counter. Yeah. I think that's kind of squidgy too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, right this
Yeah.
light.
That's a bit squidgy. There's a lot of light there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bouncing all over.
Yeah. But definitely like coming out. There you go. Now
Okay,
you can
this is a
see the
different angle
Birkeland
of it.
current, right? It was always there 24/7 in slightly different shapes every day. It's not a person, it's not a ghost, it is literally a current because I looked it up on YouTube videos. And at the end of the video, they have a giant Birkeland current, which is blue, in one of the galaxies, and it shows you the same pattern of the squiggly lines.
Okay, so this is before you pulled the fridge out, right? This
Yeah,
is okay.
yeah,
I got you.
I did the photos backwards a little bit.
Okay, no problem. I was just making sure I was
But you
understanding
would
how to
think
see.
that it's coming from that plug. And maybe it is. But that other photo shows it not coming from the plug, doesn't it? It shows it
Right.
coming from the wood.
Yeah. Right out of here.
Because this, I would say, has to be coming from that plug because it's so strong. Now look at the top corner and look at the left corner where the bird, that's a lot of light. And it's even there when you close the door, and it's even there at night when there's no daylight creeping in through the hallway. You'll see. I'll show you some nighttime pictures later in the video. And look at
Okay.
that top corner. It has a nice
Right here? Yeah,
flash
I was
light.
looking at
Yeah.
that one.
That shouldn't be coming. See, in the hallway is a door to the upstairs, which is that half down, half up place you saw
Mm-hmm.
by the front door. And it's got a little bit of light coming through, but not zipping in and reflecting all over the kitchen, although you can see my flash on the paint
Mm-hmm.
a little bit.
Yeah, but not the streaks.
Not
This,
the streaks, but the flash on the paint is quite obvious.
let's see.
Now go next to the fridge.
Oh, is this the video already?
Oh, yeah, go back to the other one and go next to the fridge and examine all of that up and down. That's the same current that we were looking at before. See how it's broken up into pieces when you get up high and it's all squiggly at the bottom?
Interesting.
It's not reflecting off the refrigerator, but sometimes it reflects onto the refrigerator depending on where you stand.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah.
5 to 5.
What's that? Oh, always. That clock doesn't work. It rings.
Oh.
It actually rings 13 on every hour, so my sister-in-law stopped it.
Oh,
Nobody
okay.
wants to hear a clock in a haunted house ring 13 on every hour.
That's funny.
Isn't it? That clock has some history. It's very old, and my husband took it home where we lived when we lived in Hastings to clean it, and he used a bit of alcohol on the brass. He rubbed the numbers off. They were painted on by hand with ink. And he's an artist. And I'm like, honey, he's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I've just destroyed this, 200-year-old clock. He rubbed off the 12, the 1, the 2, and part of the 3, and part of the 10 and the 11.
Oh, no.
And I said, you're an artist. Paint them back on. And he got an inkwell, and he got one of his old pens, which are like those pointy ones. What are those called, Shane?
I don't know.
Like calligraphy pens. And
Right.
he redid the numbers. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, part of 3. And you can see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are original because they're darker.
Oh, okay. Whoops. There goes my phone. At least it wasn't 13.
No. And the clock worked until my husband died, and when he died, it started ringing 13 on every hour. That's kind of interesting.
That is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Should we go to the video? Let me see if.
Yeah, if that's all the pictures, I think that's all the pictures. Just so you know, I took pictures on every floor, and the only activity was in the basement. So I'm not showing you pictures in the living room, the dining room, there was a little, the bedrooms, there just wasn't anything, so I'm not showing them.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll start this and let me. Okay. So it's perfectly full screen for everybody watching. So
Cool.
I'll start it like this. Okay. Here we go.
It's a very old clock.
That's the dining room in the basement.
I saw some orbs.
There's a few in there in the dining room. There's always a few.
But it's really this amazing chair, which is, I think, the one John's grandma sat in when she died on that chair. She was just having a little rest.
Does.
No, it's just off the stairwell.
It's everywhere in this basement, I think.
One flew up and
Look
came right
how
at our
many
face,
there
remember?
are.
You can't see anything over there.
Don't piss the orbs off.
Sorry, Orbeez. Oh, I have pissed them off. Look, they're going mad.
I know, did you see that? I'm getting away from you. Here, I'm just going to film you. Because, turn around. No, I don't want to go over there. You turn around over there.
But we know they're here.
Stop.
Alice.
They stop.
Oh, have they stopped?
They're coming over your head.
Really? So they're not keen on me.
They're coming,
Oh.
it's the cupboard under the stairs through the stairwell. Did you see that one?
I can't see anything.
Oh my God, come here. You hold it over me and I'll just sit there. And they'll come flying over your head to check you out. Okay, come on, Alice. Come on, baby. Right over your head.
It's loads.
Hi. How
Absolutely
Do you think they're coming
loads.
from the staircase or the cupboard under the stairs? Now go to
I
the chair.
don't
They're not coming
know.
from the chair. Look. The other day they were coming from the chair.
Yeah.
Now they're coming from the stairway.
No, there's none of those. There's a lot of fuzzy stuff
Like
around.
dust.
I guess, whatever. But
Orbs are different. They fly like circles.
no, they're definitely over here.
Would you like to go film that spot and see what the Birkeland current is doing?
Whoa, look at it. Look at it. Oh, look at it. It's alive. It's all across the floor, look.
I know.
Gotta be a light. No?
No, because last time we moved the fridge, it shot out the door. Didn't it, Jane?
And it's going way up to right up the wall. Well, you can see it.
I know, but where is it coming from? It seems to be coming from... Yeah, there.
Yeah, you see, they're around now. But I wouldn't see they're around now.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh,
Ooh,
oh, it's a light show. They're coming from the wall, Jane.
you think?
Yeah, they're kind of flying through the chair. Can you find their source?
Oh,
It's not
Oops,
dust.
sorry.
I'm looking for dust. I'm not saying dust in front of the camera. The occasional one piece of dust flies by, but not. But you know, we've got paving stones. It's what's happening underneath this house. That
yeah.
could have loads of energy, right? A battle? Was there any Battle of Hastings happening here? You won't find much in the kitchen. Go in the kitchen. You're not going to see a whole lot. Maybe just the Brooklyn.
No, not really.
Not a lot.
No.
This.
There's none really by the light. It's just that light. And then as soon as you go look out the door, there's huge ones.
Like, do they go towards your camera lens?
Yeah.
They're going this way. Some of it could be dust, but not circles. Dust is to see a white streak.
But you see, yeah. But you don't see anything in here.
No.
But of course I've got these tiles, and I think if it's something coming up, these tiles might be obliterated or stopping it from coming up. But out there, there's nothing really to stop it coming up.
No.
It's just floorboard.
That's a Brooklyn current, that blue picture, and it's very similar to what the electricity is doing on that wall. It reminded me of a Brooklyn current,
Okay.
which is plasma. It's electricity and magnetic current mixed together, creating plasma.
Oh, we have Roger Prescott in here now. He's captured some amazing stuff. I've had him on before, and so he's really familiar with all these orbs and light phenomena.
Cool. I wonder
should say.
Roger, what you make of that, like Brooklyn current.
Yeah, he says that they're with him all the time.
Really?
Yeah, he's the guy that had the really cool images of having the light get brighter and dimmer.
Oh, I remember.
Focusing his
Yeah.
intention and stuff. So
Yep, that was like a year ago. You gotta have him on again.
definitely, he's probably got some really cool stuff since then.
Yeah. I'd love to hear what he has to say about that Brooklyn like current that's always on that wall.
Yeah.
And then when you move the fridge out, it like sparks out of the wood, right?
Oh yeah, that's really neat. Let me pull this over. All right. So, wow. So
That's
you had a fun
interesting
trip.
because the fridge next to the current has electricity running through it. So maybe that electricity is lighting up the plasma. And then when you pull the fridge away, you don't get the Brooklyn current anymore. The plasma is not being lit up, but you see the sparks just coming out from under the wood. Because it doesn't have an electrical source right next to it anymore
So
to
you're
light
thinking
it up.
maybe the wood. You mentioned on there about like a Battle of Hastings or something. You think?
Yeah, there could be like bodies under the house, which Jane hated to hear because nobody wants to think of bodies being under their house.
Like
But
the movie Poltergeist.
yes, maybe because the cemetery is across the street, maybe the cemetery went further than what we're seeing. And maybe the people who wanted to make money building those houses in 1828 just literally built houses on top of a cemetery, which is right across the street,
There's
right?
a
That
lot of
tiny
truth
one
in
is
some of
so
this.
tiny.
Yeah, a lot of the stories you hear and stuff like, we just move the headstones and cram them across
Yeah.
the street and leave the bodies there. What does it matter?
Exactly. And that cemetery looks way too small for the size of that church, and we're right across from it. So I would imagine that the activity in the basement, which doesn't carry on any of the other floors, day or night, is somehow tied to something in the ground under those flagstones, because there's huge flagstones under the ground. There's no concrete, and then there's old floorboards, and then there's tile and carpet. So maybe those floorboards are from like a church or a seminary or a shipwreck. It's no telling where they got the materials in, say, 1825.
Right. I think this was a perfect one right on the hills of Halloween. That's what Candace Crow Goldman, she was in here. I don't know if she's still here, but she was saying that
Hey,
it
Candace.
was perfect timing.
Yeah, I flew back on Halloween late at night. I was so tired, but I was shooting videos the whole week. I was so fascinated. And they only show up in that spot,
Yeah.
day or night, light or dark. They were always there. The orbs were there, and the current was there.
So what was it like flying? I mean, did the pilot come out looking like a scary clown or anything at any point?
No, nobody dressed up or did any like scary things. You can't really scare people on a plane, can you?
Yeah, not a good idea.
Not a good idea because you can't stop and let them off if they start to panic, right?
Right. Yeah, you want to keep everybody at ease. Maybe
Oh, but
angels or something, you know.
oh, it was a bumpy ride. So, I mean, the night before, we got this crazy story on the news saying a hurricane is headed for England. And they rarely get anything like that. Hurricane Oscar. And they were making such a big deal out of it. We didn't think we were going to get to fly home. And it was a category 2. Well, we've just been hit with a couple of category 5s in the last 2 years, haven't we? So
Yeah.
we're just hoping that we'd get out before Oscar hit. But we did, but it was a bumpy ride. I'm telling you, there's turbulence the whole way home, like 9 hours. 9 hours of
Wow. You were like,
Yeah.
a 2? This is nothing. You should come
2 is
visit
a
me.
nothing. And I was in a 5.
You guys are noobs over here with the category 2s and stuff.
Absolutely.
So Oscar wasn't a grouch. That's a good thing.
Oscar wasn't a grouch. I don't know. I actually didn't check to see what Oscar did because I was gone. I was out of there, so I should probably go check. But I've been texting my sister-in-law back and forth about tonight's show.
Oh yeah, so it's like yeah, that brings up in my mind Oscar Mayer now too. You know, it's like, what's Oscar? Why is that familiar? Oh, Oscar Mayer, of course, the Mandela
Oh yeah,
effect.
Oscar Mayer.
Yeah.
Oscar Mayer.
Yeah,
Mandela effect into Mayer.
yeah, it's all
Yep.
connected.
Everything's connected, isn't it? We're all connected.
Yeah, one of the things that I noticed with that is, which on the hills of that, it took me to the first song from John Mayer that kind of became popular, which was "No Such Thing," and in that song he talks about there's no such thing as the real world. It's a lie we have to rise above. So I'm like,
Ah, I thought
I
of John
always,
Mayer too when you said that.
yeah, I've always thought that, you know, they're little clues, you know what I mean? So you got to just sort of go where they lead you.
The
And
clues are everywhere. They're on TV, they're in books, they're in music, they're in things that your kids say. Yeah, the clues are all around us.
yeah, and it's exciting. I think it's exciting. I've sort of moved. I love to revisit the whole Mandela effect thing whenever I can, but I didn't really want to become a Mandela effect channel where that's all I do, because there's, you know, you've got
Me too.
Moneybags who does a great job at really covering everything.
He's my favorite for Mandela effects. It's like he
Yeah,
doesn't miss them. You know,
right.
if there is one, it's going to turn up on his channel.
Totally. Yep. And I feel the same way. So if I come across a new one or something, I'll usually just try to get it to him because he's got the bigger audience and he does such a great job with covering that and finding residue and stuff
Yep.
like that. And but for me, it was like such a wake up call. It's like I don't want to get focused on the alarm clock. You know what I mean? It's like, what is the alarm clock waking me up to? And so I've had a
Me
lot of
too.
people say, "Wow, your channel sure changed." And I'm like, "Well, you're sort of along on for the ride with me because, you know, I woke up and now I'm looking into other things, and I do like the return of the Mandela effect because I do have that to thank for this whole thing. I know a lot of people view it as a negative thing, but it's been exciting for me. It's like I woke up in
And
a
it's still
sci-fi movie.
changing. We're
Yeah,
getting new Mandela effects every day, so it's ongoing. I like to
totally.
return to it, but I've moved away from it as well and focus more on quantum spirituality. You
Yeah.
know, the spirituality that's everywhere in the universe, all around us, all the time. I try to kind of like drift within that area of quantum spirituality.
Yeah, because I think it's one of the best proofs that I have in my life. I know not everybody sees the Mandela effect happening or has come to that realization that it's happening. They're sort of in that point where I was for a year, where I was like, yeah, I don't know, I don't really trust my memory. But for those who really see it happening and have had that one thing that you know is one way changed to something else, and it appears that your memories aren't aren't
Shot,
real.
gone.
Yeah,
Just don't have a memory because it's
right.
changed.
You have no reality to go with the memory that you totally remember happening a certain way. So for those people, it's like it's a huge indicator, because I know some people's been seeing it for decades, and they're probably like, finally, somebody else is seeing these things happening or
Did
whatever.
you ever see that video of that guy who was a Star Wars fan? That was funny. Did you
Oh
remember?
yeah, oh
He's
yeah.
swearing. He's like, "Oh my God, no,
Said he saw it
no,
700 times or something.
this cannot be." He was so emotionally involved with the
Yeah,
fact that it didn't say, "Luke, I am your father."
right.
It's like he needed some serious counseling after that.
Yeah. In fact, Vanessa VA had put it in one of her videos, that clip, and
She
I got
did,
to see
yeah.
it again. So, yeah, she's done a really good job at sort of bringing people together. I've met so many
Yeah.
other
She's
small
she's kind
channels.
of she's archived the first initial responses to the Mandela effect. So she's got a huge, important historical archive.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's really cool how you can see how everybody's sort of taken up their roles within the community. Some focusing on the effects
Yeah.
themselves, some focusing on
We've kind
people
of
just.
drifted into our own little corners.
Yeah, it's like, you think of the body of Christ or whatever. You got the body of all these light workers doing sort of their own little parts of the puzzle, because they're all important. You have to have people pointing out the effects. You have to have people letting you know that, hey, you're not alone if you're sort of freaking out. Look at
Yeah.
all these other people that's sort of waking up. So, yeah, I think it's cool.
Observers,
Yeah,
people holding the light, the empaths do
yeah,
their job, and then the real peace warriors, the indigos, they do their part. They might get more into politics and media and corporations to kind of shake that up a little bit.
yeah. And then, of course, you, the viewer, a lot of you have, really supported all these different channels and encouraged
Yeah, we
the
see each
people.
other everywhere. It's like
Yeah.
every channel we go to, we bump into each other.
Yeah. So everybody's doing their part, even if you're not the face in front of the camera. Just going around and encouraging, hitting the thumb up for people who
Oh,
sort
and
of,
they're in the comments. I'm like, every video I go to now, I dive straight into the comments. When I first went to YouTube, I just watched the video and I was like, oh, there's comments. I'm not really interested. But now, sometimes I'm more interested in the comments than the video. I'm like, what are people saying about this? What are they thinking? It's a real, what is that word? Zeitgeist?
yeah.
Like a real immediate poll on what people are thinking about this topic. Yeah.
It's kind of funny though, because it's like, sometimes you can get into some of the comments on some videos, and people are just so funny. I mean, I can just spend like an hour. I'll find myself like if it's an older video and there's like hundreds of comments, and just reading one after another. And some
Oh,
people's humor
I
is just
know.
so great. It's like, oh, that's so clever how they came up with that little
Yes,
bitty.
and then you get into the comments on the comments, you get into the replies, but I find those are all really snippy. I'm
Yeah,
like, why
yeah.
are the comments so good, but the replies to the comments are snippy? So I'm kind of skipping the replies to the comments now because I don't want to see that person insulted, whether I agree with them or not.
Yeah.
And when you go on a video and there's like 3,000 comments, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be here all day. So you feel
But
ill.
it's entertaining. It's kind of like why I don't go to Facebook, because when Facebook first came around, you could tell it's tailored to catch you and grab you and keep you there.
Yes.
So you can find yourself. It was the same way with the Yahoo, when it told you, and you tell Yahoo your interest, and then you open up Yahoo and you tell it, I'm interested in science and technology, and then it's got the latest scientific discoveries and the latest technology, and then before you know it, you've like blown 2 hours of your day, and it can
Or
be that way
three
for,
or
yeah.
four or five, and your eyes are going around in circles. Yeah, it is a time stealer.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I don't really do Facebook. I
that's
don't
why
really
I
do
avoid it.
anything but YouTube.
Yeah,
I don't do Twitter. I don't like Twitter. Twitter's kind of mean. And there's no depth to it. What can you say in 10 or 20 words? Not a whole heck of a lot, unless you're mean. And then it's like, ha 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 ha, I'm so witty in 10 words, right? I don't want to
right.
read that.
Right. That's why I use it, just to say, hey, upcoming show, here's the link, because that's about all I can say.
Here
It's
we are. Yep, yep.
that leads to more information. So I use it all for notifications for people, because I know other people are on there, but I don't tend to get on there, and I miss a lot of people leave me messages and stuff, and I'm like, oh
Oh,
my
yeah,
god, this
don't
is
leave
from April.
messages
Yeah, definitely
anywhere
email me.
except for in the comments. You read your comments too eventually. I read them once a week.
Right.
Sorry guys, but I read them on Saturday and Sunday because I got to work. I don't have time to read them in the week, and if I start reading them, I can't stop. I
Right.
got to keep going and going and going. So I'm like, okay, that's a weekend job, and I answer emails
Yeah.
on Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah.
which Sherry knows, overprotected, because I always answer you back on the weekend.
I try to keep up. I get so many of them. I try to respond as quick as possible, just so. But a lot of times, what happen is I'll wake up and I got like 4 emails, and I'll go through and I'll read them real quick. But I'm half asleep, so I don't reply right away, or I have to go do something,
And then you forget
and
later.
then I forget. So, and I hate that because I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, did I ever email them back? And I'll look and I
I
haven't,
do that too,
or I
but
never
with
hit
text.
send. And I'm like,
No,
oh
no.
my gosh,
Oh, yeah, and it's
sitting
stuck
there
in
as a
your
draft.
phone
Yeah,
because the
that's
phone won't send unless you're on Wi-Fi somewhere. And I find all these messages I replied to still in my phone.
yeah. When I
That's
ran
annoying.
across Atsuko at the event, she was like, "Yeah, I told you I'd be here, and you never responded." And I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I never responded." But I went and looked, and I had responded, but for on her end, it had gone into her spam folder.
That's
So,
not your fault.
right, not my fault. I did send it, and I showed her. I'm like, I sent it the very next day because
Look,
I
I
felt so
responded.
bad that she's like saying, "Hey, I get to meet you at this event," and then I don't even hit her back, but I had. So I was like, "Man, I sure
It
remember
is frustrating,
replying."
but most people are pretty cool about it.
Yeah,
Because like I'll get a text and I'll be driving and I'll go, "Oh, I'll watch it later. I'll respond later," and totally forget,
yeah.
you know? So they get used to it. They just text me back again. They know it's not an insult.
You're right. Yeah. Sometimes, and a lot of times it'll be like an hour-long video, and even at 2 times, it's still a half hour. And then if I get interrupted, and then I'll have someone else send me the same link, and then I'll start the video and I'll see I made it through halfway before, and I was like, oh,
Oh, that's
so
good.
yeah. So to start at the point where I stopped watching it, and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to see this video and here, So
I only send you videos now if they really flabbergast me or floor me. If something really goes wow, I'll send it to you and Vanessa and Paulo. And
yeah,
then a few of my subs, I'll send it back to them and they send me videos, but it has to really wow me. Otherwise, I'm like, hey, you guys are out there watching this stuff anyway every day.
yeah. And if it really wows you, then you do a video about it and make
I
sure,
do.
yeah.
I'm still wowed about the galaxy and the galaxy.
Oh
I'm
yeah, me
like,
too.
I tell people this story and they don't believe me. They're like, nah, nah. And I'm going, University of Virginia, University of Massachusetts. It's not like, Mr. Bean told the world that we were in a galaxy on a galaxy and that galaxy is named Sagittarius. Bing, how interesting is that? That's related to the Mandela effect,
Yeah,
the Sagittarius part.
yeah, that's very strange. It's
Very
totally yeah,
strange. Yeah.
and when you
I'm
get
like,
into that territory, it's hard to distinguish what's a Mandela effect or not. You're like, did I
yeah,
just not
yeah.
hear about this, and I'm just not
I'm like,
sure?
okay, this is not a Mandela effect. This is the people who discovered this keeping it quiet, keeping it to
Exactly.
themselves. It's not a Mandela effect.
Yeah.
But then why did they name it the Sagittarius
Right.
galaxy? And we used to be on the Sagittarius arm, and now we're on the Orion spur because our galaxy, our little dinky galaxy, is moving through the Milky Way, which explains a lot. It explains that photon cloud. Um, Metal Rabbit and I used to talk about this. What was it called? The photon belt that everybody kept saying we go through every 13,000 years when we transverse the galaxy, and it was hard to pull up information on it. Now NASA's throwing out daily that we're in some kind of a photon cloud, a very dirty, dusty cloud of space in the Milky Way. Why are we in it? Why are we moving through it? Because we're on another flipping galaxy. That's why. If we weren't on another galaxy, Shane, we couldn't go through a photon cloud in the galaxy because we'd be stationary
We'd be
with
moving
our
with it.
galaxy. We'd be moving with it.
Yeah.
We'd never catch up to the photon cloud.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
kind of like
things like
traffic on
that.
the highway. It's like the cars
Yeah.
look like they're not moving next to you, and
You never get to them, do you?
right.
You're always right behind them. But the reason we are going through the photon cloud, NASA, never a straight answer, is because we're on a little galaxy.
Totally.
And they know that. They know that. I just wish they'd be more honest with us because Matt from Quantum of Conscious used to be Quantum Atlas Shrugged, I think, Texas Shrugged. I don't know, one of those that got banned for being a truther channel. He's like, oh, you can't believe anything NASA says, and that's true. But occasionally they throw out a truth and we still doubt it. You know, even when they tell the truth, we think they're lying.
I agree. Yeah. In
It's
fact,
like, what's real?
a lot of times if I hear about something and I'm sort of believing it, and then NASA comes out and says something about it, then I'm like, I
You're
don't know
like,
if I should believe it anymore.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Seriously, if I see something on the news, I'm like, and I don't watch the news, and I just hear it, I'm like, I
Right.
wonder about that. That's the problem, is they've got us doubting everything.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That's why I just separate from all the chaos, because even like a quantum of conscience or conscious, I can't remember what the exact name is, but he was talking about his video went viral that he did. He goes, now I don't know if I should
Yeah.
trust this information because
Wasn't that
why is YouTube
awesome?
pushing it? Why are they pushing it now? Now I'm like,
I love that video. What an honest video to go, hey guys, my video just got 250,000 views. Something's up. Something's wrong here. Why are they pushing my video? It must be full of BS. I
right.
must not have been telling the truth.
Right, and that's how I am. I'm like, okay, growth is slow. I must be on the right path. That's
Yeah.
totally how I view things now. If I start growing too fast, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what am I pushing that they want me to push here? So yeah, I like the slow growth. It lets me know that I'm being suppressed. It's
It
kind of
also
I'm in the
lets,
sweet spot.
yeah, yeah, it also lets you know the people who doubt their fast growth are pretty honest people.
Yeah,
Unless, of course, then you get the guys who catch on to that and they start saying and mimicking that so they look truthful too,
right.
It's like, oh
But even
man,
with that quantum of conscience channel, his video that went viral, I think what it was personally, anyway, is that he titled it and it was very ambiguous. In the description, it really didn't say much. It just had in the title itself, it said creepy something something, but it was just creepy documentary. It didn't really give much about revealing truth or anything like that. And I think the algorithms picked up on it. We're coming up on
creepy.
Halloween. It's creepy. People like creepy,
Oh,
people like spooky, people like scary, or they like
yep,
to push that at least because people typically like, what's creepy? I got to see this. So I don't know that what he said in the video was bad information as much as he didn't have
gotcha.
much in the description.
It might have
And
been the one word, the creepy word that just
creepy,
phew,
and
right around Halloween.
yeah, in October. I think it came out towards the beginning of October. So people were
Well, I
starting to
did,
look up Halloween's
yeah,
creepy stuff,
that
creepy
makes sense.
outfits, you know.
Creepy stories.
Yeah.
Creepy videos.
So,
Yeah, I think the creepy really works for that time of year. But he didn't seem to know that. He was like, "What was it? There's something about that
right.
video."
Yeah.
I did a video on timelines, and I titled one of them "Who Owns the Mandela Effect," and then I titled the other one on the same day as a test, just for fun. CERN blew up our world, or did it? And the one that was just titled "Who Owns the Mandela Effect" got like 300 views, not a lot.
Right.
And the one that was titled "CERN Blew Up Our World," or did it, was titled, it got 700 views. But then I felt bad because I only put "CERN Blew Up Our World," and it got the 700 views in just a couple of days. And then I was like, but that's not what I'm saying in the video. So I retitled it to dot 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 or did it. And as soon as I did that, it fell out of all the what are they?
Yeah.
Uh,
Just the results for.
yeah, it fell out of all the results. As soon as I added, when I put CERN blew up our world, it was in all the results. And when I added the or did it, just dropped out.
Mm,
It's like it was too honest, not scary enough.
right.
And then I didn't do it again. I just did that one just to see for myself how it could change my view counts. But I've decided, like you, that I like having a small channel. I really like the people. The subs are like important to me because they're my friends. And I see them here. I see them on all the channels, all over the place. We often talk on Hangouts or emails or in other channels, and
Yeah.
I like it that way. I like the smallness of it. I like the intimacy,
Yeah.
so
Definitely.
that I can be me on my channel and say anything and not be worried about sounding crazy.
Yeah.
That is like a big deal. If I was growing into a huge community, I would get slammed. I would be, people would be going, "Oh, you're crazy, you're stupid. That's not possible." You'd have to deal with all the negativity.
Plus, if you can kind of stay at this, once you can hit a certain size, you're going to have a real person. It's not just the algorithm looking at you. You're going to have a real person checking your video out. Right now, I don't have to put anything in the title. I can just talk about things pretty freely without
Anything.
saying triggering words. But I can talk about things in the midst of my hour or 2 hour video, and I know a person's not going to sit through that. If they do, maybe they'll be convinced. They're like, "Hey, this is a great community here." But.
I fell asleep to you today because I'm still on England time watching last night's love stream. That was 3.5 hours
I
long.
know.
I got to the end.
Yeah, it
That
did go
was
pretty long.
long. That's awesome. That's like an old nighttime radio show. You know, you put it on while you're driving, and then somebody comes on named Shane and goes, "Hi, welcome to the Love Stream." And then, you know, all these callers call in from all over the world. That's what that reminded me of. I was like,
Yeah.
nice old, not historic, but what's the word? I can't think of the word. It's like when you listen to something as a kid or a young adult and it's no longer around.
Oh.
Nostalgic.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
it's like a nostalgic radio show.
Yeah, sort of like I guess one of the last holdouts, I guess, was Coast to Coast AM had that feeling about it, like that
Yeah,
old style call-in show,
yeah,
and I
and there's
often think
still
about how often I would
coast to
listen to
coast.
that and think, oh man, that would be so awesome to have a call-in radio show where you talk about paranormal fringe type stuff, and here I am,
Yeah,
really
you're
living
doing
out a
it.
childhood dream,
You're doing it, and you've got like
Yeah.
15 telephone numbers for countries around the world to call in, which is super cool. I don't know how you figured that one out.
I got it from Dan from Talk is Cheap. It's a
Really?
free service called TalkShoe, and it's really for
Wow.
conferencing. But you can you can use it as it's kind of like what's the one we use, Zoom, where you can
Zoom.
have a call-in conference sort of thing. You can unmute certain people, but it's
Yeah.
just audio only. So it works perfect. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of a nuisance having to put in the show number and all that stuff, but I think it's weeding out a lot of the prank callers too. So they're
Yeah.
like, it's too much
Yeah,
work.
that's a good idea. You because when you were doing Facebook, you get too many prank people on Facebook
Yeah,
calling in.
exactly.
So
So
yeah, so you got that nostalgic coast to coast radio show every Friday night.
yeah, and I made the little 2 minute sound sample thing. So if I have to run into the bathroom or something, I can just
Yeah.
play that, run to the bathroom like a commercial break or whatever.
Oh, that's really cool.
I haven't
And
had to
that
use it
sounds
yet,
real
but
radio to me.
oh yeah, I had a lot of fun making it
With
with
all
my
those people going unbiased, unbiased, unbiased,
yeah,
unbiased, and unbiased. You know, it's like really, really nostalgic. So
yeah, it
there's
was
one
fun.
other lady still doing it. I think coast to coast. It's a woman. I can't remember her name. And she talks to couples and women and men about their problems, their romantic problems. And she's on from coast to coast. Like, I don't know what channel it is. She's still hanging in there.
Is it the doctor lady, Doctor Laura
Nope.
Slutzinger?
Gosh,
Or?
what's her name? Does anybody in the chat know her name? Delilah.
Oh, okay, with the
Delilah.
music. Yeah,
Hi, this is Delilah.
yeah,
And then she gives like love songs for people, or they talk about their breakup, you know.
yeah. I remember listening to her as a
Delilah.
kid.
Yes, she's
So
still
she's
doing it.
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, so I love the way technology is going because never in my life would I've imagined I could do something like this just from home for free with viewers supporting me, and it's
Isn't
just
that
beautiful. Yeah.
isn't that amazing? I was thinking about this today or yesterday. I was thinking we do criticize the ruling elite a lot. And well that we should, right?
Hmm.
But in their greed, they've given us some amazing gifts, amazing technologies like this. Like here we are chatting live, and
Globally.
all these people globally in our comments that we know, and connecting and getting to know each other this way. Yeah, okay, they made billions off the technology, but look what they did. They brought us together. They brought a community of love light workers together through their greed by selling us the phones, the computers, the Wi Fi,
Yeah.
the platforms, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
That's a good thing.
It's like if you're given lemons, make lemonade, right?
Yeah, it's like they gave us lemons and we made lemonade out of it.
Yep.
Ha ha. Ha ha, ruling elite. There you go.
And that leads
Well,
to our bigger thing here. I mean, here
it
we have the
does, and I
power of
did not
intention.
plan that.
Yeah, that was a great segue into the fact that, they never would have thought we'd be doing something so positive for the world on a
So
global scale
powerful.
here, you know?
And Shane tonight picked, or was it maybe a listener sent it to
I
you?
think somebody suggested it actually.
Yeah,
It's hard to
about
keep up
because you're
with it.
connecting. Go ahead, throw in a promo on your 1111 connection for
Yeah,
the.
so since Sedona, I've been feeling like we really need to start connecting in person. I showed last night. Did you see how Megan from the East Coast went all the way to California on a trip, and while she was there, she met
Yep,
Atsuko, and
I saw the
so
picture.
yeah, and that's so cool.
They look
And
so cute. It was like,
just
oh,
yeah, and you had little rainbow beams of light that were coming in your picture.
yeah,
That was just
yeah.
totally perfect.
They had
So
like a red umbrella behind them, and somehow the light came under the umbrella like rainbows.
yeah, at Hermosa Beach, I think they said they were in or something. So yeah, it was just cool that I got an email and they were going to meet. But anyway, so I've got this coming up on 11/11. We're just meeting for a couple hours, so it's not really worth driving a long way for or whatever. It's just a small get together here in Tulsa. So you can email me from the website uotf.net that is on the screen, and just put Tulsa Get Together if you'd like to get together. It's probably going to be a dozen of us or so. And then,
How
of
nice.
course, Eileen, sorry. Austin, Texas. I was reading your name on the screen. Austin, Texas, on New Year's, we're going to be getting together like 2 days, 2 or 3 days around New Year's in Austin, Texas. So if you want to do that, if you're within that area, which might be worth a drive, you can also go to uotf.net and send an email with Austin Get Together in the subject. And
So
I
two
will,
two get-togethers in the next
yeah,
few months. That's so cool. And 11/11 is very auspicious because 2018 is an 11 numerologically. So really, it's an 11/11/11.
yeah,
And I think the organization Unify is doing a world peace meditation on that day. So when we get
beautiful.
closer to it, we'll drop the
Yeah,
website or
next
the link.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
also, we were going to originally get together around 2:30, but somebody said, "Why don't we get together at 11:11 on 11/11/11?" Right?
Are you? Are you really going to
So
do
we
that?
could just move it in a little earlier if it won't cause any problems for anybody. But
Well, what
that
I
would be
would
cool.
do, and it's not my get together, but I would get together at 11, and at 11:11, I would all hold hands and do your own thing,
Yeah,
just like hold hands at 11:11 on 11/11/11, and whatever you intend for is just going to get boom, zapped with all this extra power.
definitely. Yeah, with everyone else in the time zone thinking the same
Especially
thing.
if 11 people show up. Oh my God. Then you've got to do a power of eight at 11:11 with 11 people on 11/11/11.
That's so funny that you actually said that because I sent out a bulk email to everybody that was in that folder, and there were 11 emails that I sent out. And I was like,
No.
no way, 11 people on
No
11/11.
way.
So yeah, so even if that's too early, then we can do maybe 1/11. So it'll still be
And don't
wonderful.
feel bad if you do two intentions, like one for the group and one for the world. Because we're so generous, we're always doing stuff for the world here. I feel like occasionally it's okay to do stuff for us, for
Yeah,
our group, you know? So you could do like a double intention, one for the people there and one for the rest of us.
totally. So
Which brings us into tonight's thing
yeah,
because you said, can we do something on connection, connecting our community, our community connecting, meeting up, whatever we need, whenever we need it.
exactly. For those connections to begin to be made,
Grow?
between everyone in the community and however that needs to play out. So I thought just doing an intention on
That'd be
connecting in a
super.
bigger way.
Okay, well let's do that. Let's do our live meditation power of eight at 8. Our intention tonight is going to be for deeper and more lasting and more powerful connections within our community and our community connecting with others out there that we haven't even met yet.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And
we're
for
kind
those
of
that need to find us, that they'll find us.
that they find us, and I
So
think
yeah,
they will. I
definitely.
think they will eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to turn off my video without turning myself off completely. I have to take my time with this one because there's 3 buttons, Shane.
No problem. Yeah, we'll go to the rainbow, right? There we go.
Yep. And next time, maybe I'll put my rainbow in there if I can remember how. It's going to be really difficult. I'll probably have to call you and go, how do you change it? It is. You can't just do it on your screen. You have to go into Google somewhere. They
Yeah, you
complicate it a
do.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to
Okay.
figure it out too, but we can figure it out together.
Okay. And did you want to put down your screen too, or are you going to leave yours up? There we go. Okay, gosh, it seems like ages since we've done this, guys. It's only been 2 weeks. So let's just start by taking a nice, long, deep, and soft breath in and hold it just for a few moments. And when you exhale, exhale out 100% of the breath with any negativity or tension that might be in your body. And get ready for another nice, deep breath in. Hold it And exhale any stress from the day or from the week. And we'll do one last third relaxing deep breath in. Let your tummy extend as you draw that breath down as far as possible. Hold it and exhale out any worries that you may have. And now we're just going to send a grounding cord from our root chakra, which is at the base of your spine. Usually it's silver or gold, but you can make it any color you like. And send that cord of light from your root chakra down through the floorboards, through the building you're in, through the ground, through the crust of the earth, deep, deep, deep. Send it all the way down into the middle of the earth. And when it gets to the center of the earth, let it just kind of spread out in all directions like the roots of a tree. And now that you're firmly grounded, let's start breathing in through our hearts and exhale out through our hearts. Just imagine that you're breathing in through your heart or your heart chakra, exhaling out through your heart. And now we're just going to breathe in a color on the inhale, any color you like. Hold it and exhale it out again gently. Breathe it in, and that color is coming from Source or God, the creative universe. Exhale that color out through your heart. And just continue to breathe in through your heart and exhale that color out of your heart at a pace that feels comfortable for you. Don't force it, just let it be comfortable. And you can change that color at any time if you like, or keep breathing in the same color. Now we're going to imagine a bubble of light around us, surrounding our bodies. And as we breathe in that beautiful, crystal clear, healing color, on the exhale, we're going to fill our bodies with that color from the top of our head, fill our faces, down our neck, across and inside our shoulders, down our arms, out of our hands and our fingertips, down our torso, down our bottoms, down our legs, even out our feet and our toes. We're going to breathe in that beautiful, clear, healing light. And as we exhale it, we're going to fill that bubble of light around us with the same color that is going in through our hearts and out of our hearts. And that bubble of light is very protective. It's going to protect you during the process of this group meditation, and it's going to protect you after the meditation is over. It's a very long-lasting, protective, healing bubble of light. And the last thing we want to do before we focus on the intention tonight is to imagine a beautiful place. Imagine you are in your protective bubble of light with your grounding cord, breathing easily in and out of your heart chakra, but you're doing it in a beautiful, peaceful, safe place. And now, as a group, we're going to imagine ourselves connecting with each other and connecting with others who are just like us, who are filled with love, filled with light, filled with forgiveness as their natural state and as a state that they're working on to improve and to grow. Because we know that we're not perfect, even though we are loving and forgiving beings, we know that we're not perfect and we still need to work on growing these parts within us. And we're sharing this love light, this forgiveness, this love, this kindness, this compassion, and this sense of cooperation with all of those around us, including our families, our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues. And now we're going to extend that love to our group of love light workers that we've been so fortunate and so lucky and so blessed to meet up with through these channels, through these YouTube channels that have brought us together while watching videos of people that we resonate with. We're in the chats, hooking up with each other, commenting, supporting each other. When one's down, we see everybody else just kind of lift them back up. And now we're going to send that love light and we're going to make it green, emerald green and bright and clear, crystal clear. And we're going to send it to our community for healing, for whatever healing the individual needs, whether it's physical healing, mental healing, emotional healing, financial healing, relationship healing, business healing, job healing, whatever each other ready, we're going to send that out to our loved ones, to our family members, and our friends and colleagues and neighbors and coworkers and other people with other channels. And when we're ready, we're going to extend that love light that we have, which is now empowered by coming together now with the same intention at the exact same time. We're going to send that out to all the other light workers, all the other love light workers, all the other healers, the empaths, the psychics, the energy workers, the artists. We're going to send that out to all of them throughout the world so that they too can connect with us and with each other. And in this way, it's kind of a light grid that we've created. You can see it through your closed eyes, in your mind's eye, this beautiful bright light grid that connects all of us all around the world. And suddenly that makes the world seem like a very small place. And we know that we can heal this world by healing humanity. As soon as we heal ourselves and we become more loving and compassionate and cooperative and forgiving, that energy immediately extends out from us and affects our loved ones and our community. And when enough of us do it, and it becomes a habit to live in a heart-centered way, we actually heal the entire world. So for just a few moments, just sit and relax in that bright green crystal emerald energy. And know that you will connect with whomever you need to meet, whenever you need to meet them, to further your life's path, your life's desires, and your life's mission here on Earth now and forever. And when you're ready, just start to breathe normal and start to move your feet, your neck, your hands, and your head a little bit. And just start to breathe naturally and normally. And let your grounding cord go back into the earth. Just release it where it goes back to the center of the earth and disappears. There we go.
Awesome. Thank you to the mods for keeping things under control and for those who had to experience the love of the band hammer.
Oh, did we have some trolls in tonight?
Yeah, I noticed there at the end. I was like, oh, let's bop them out of here with a little bit of love. So
Ooh,
you can stick around
that very often,
and
do
enjoy
we?
it. No, we don't, but
No.
we know you're there, lurking.
Oh, we're gonna send you love bombs and heart bombs. We're gonna forgive you so much that you're just gonna become peaceful and loving.
Oh, bummer, you crashed, Dead
Who
GPK.
crashed? Oh, hi, Dad.
Yeah, you can catch up later, but very nice. Thanks for adding in the healing too. I think that's much needed. So very good.
Yeah, we all need to love and heal each other and heal ourselves as well as the world. I think we deserve it as much as the world deserves it, right?
Oh, definitely.
And guys, I'm going to catch up on all your videos. I've only been back for 2 days, and I'm not really back, if you know what I mean. I'm still like falling asleep at odd times of the day.
Jet lag.
Jet lag, big time.
Oh my gosh, so it's like 2 in the morning for you. It's probably good you got a little extra sleep
Yeah,
today,
I
right?
guess we're going to go back in time. I mean, the clocks are going to go back
Oh, that's right.
tomorrow night, right? Not tonight.
So
I
let's
don't
see,
want to
is
get
that going to
anybody in
help
trouble,
or
miss
was
work.
it spring forward, fall back?
Fall back.
Okay.
When do we do it? Tonight or Sunday night? Does anybody know?
It is tonight, early Sunday morning, so it will be here
Okay.
in a few hours, yeah.
And England did it last
Last
Saturday
week?
night, Sunday morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we'll be back on 5 hours difference between us and London.
Yes, and it's cool because now I'm really, honestly, only an hour apart from Arizona because it was weird when I went there. I'm thinking, oh, I'm just an hour apart, but they were actually on California time because
Oh,
they don't change with daylight savings. Arizona is like,
I had no idea. I thought the
yeah,
whole country did it. I mean,
no,
really,
except
I
for
think we need to.
Arizona. I think Arizona is the only place that doesn't do it. So,
I would like to stop doing it. I would like to have one time forever. This time where we get the extra hour of sleep, right?
right,
Yeah, yeah.
let's stop it
Just
now.
stop
So.
forever.
That way we never lose it again, right?
Exactly.
So that's awesome. Well, it's wonderful having you back and definitely
Thank
missed
you.
you. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was so funny because I did the abundance meditation
I heard
Saturday.
it. I heard it a day later, and I love that meditation.
And then I went to do the show Monday, and I forgot I left that going, so it started the meditation again. So
I'm just saying goodbye to my kids. Bye.
bye.
Bye. I heard it, and I heard it on when I watched the Monday show. I heard it.
That was so
Yeah,
funny. I was like, whoops, I forgot. Because when it stopped playing, it just went away for me, but I never hit the little eyeball to turn it off, so I didn't
that
know it
is
was there
such a
until.
good meditation. I put that in my playlist privately
Thank you.
so
Yeah.
that when I go to sleep, I can do meditations from people I trust. Because right now there's a lot of meditations on YouTube that I just don't know what they're playing underneath it, especially the ones that have like 300,000 subscribers. I'm like,
Yeah. It gets back to that, wonder what's going on. And I'm the same way with like the
yeah.
binaural beats and stuff. I'm like, what kind of subliminal stuff do they have under this 8 hour sleeping
Yeah,
trap?
see, and we're not being like paranoid, but once something goes mainstream and goes big, then the powers that control the subliminal stuff notice it and start slipping their stuff in. So when you're little, they just kind of ignore you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of positive to be little. It's kind of positive to kind of be under the radar.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
only have to deal with like a minimal amount of trolls too, so we're not even thinking about that part of it. The
We
bots
haven't
and
even
the
had
trolls.
trolls yet until tonight on this show. We've had them on
Right.
other shows.
Yeah.
Oh well, that must mean that we're getting popular.
Hey, trolls need love too, right?
They do.
They can come get the
Trolly
love.
trolls.
They just can't spread the hate. So they can get the
No,
love, but no spreading the hate. So
exactly. You can listen, but you can't talk if you're going to talk nasty trolls.
all right. Well, I do appreciate you coming on. It was
Thank you,
beautiful,
Shane.
and
Thank you,
we're
everybody. I'll go back and I'll catch up on your videos this week. I promise.
definitely, and we will be back next Saturday.
Yep. Until then, much love. Mwah.
Lots
Peace.
of love and light to you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Laters. If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.